Dark Secrets of the Cubbage Patch Kids. Dark Secrets.
In 1976, a man named Savvy Robert invented what we call the Cubbage Patch Kid. That is a doll. Many of those kids back then till date do love to have a doll. The parents, when they have kids, they give them dolls. But if I tell you the dark secrets of this doll back then, you'll be shocked. Stay with me. In those era in 1976, they were trapped babies that were dead through the incubative system back then. If the soul left the baby, they trapped the soul in that doll. Now, this might sound like a conspiracy theory, but hold on now. The inspiration behind this Cubbage Patch Kid by Savvy in 1976 gotten from the slave they took from Africa. And remember, all the slaves they took from Africa were strong men and women with supernatural powers. Yes, they never took any irresponsible, soft-looking, draggy-looking man or woman. They took the strong men and women. And back then in Alkebulan, that is back then in Africa, all we had then was kingdoms. And who ruled this kingdom were strong men and women with supernatural powers. Now stay with me. These over here, what we call them is dummy babies. Dummy babies. Now over there they call it the Cubbage Patch Kids. Inspired. Now this Savvy said it was inspired by what? By the zoos over there. The zoos over there in 1976 were called the Human Zoo. And they have the name for that though. A different name that looks so sophisticated. But it was Human Zoo where they display you and I. Now they displayed those people they took from Africa. And when they display them there, they allowed you to do what you want to do for their amusement. They allowed you to be yourself, to show your powers, to say those things you want to dance just for their amusement. Now, stay with me. The father of this man, Savvy, is actually a zoo coordinator, one of the zoos in France. And France was one of the countries, the Western countries, that were the incubators of this human zoo. Now, stay with me now. This particular concept was gotten when they came to Africa. They saw that Africans were kingdoms, far well civilized than them. Yes, our civilization was growing through nature, not outside nature. Now we're trying to go back to nature in the 21st century. We talk about solar, this, we talk about that, we talk about ecosystem and all that because we're going outside nature. Their civilization, but ours was through nature. So everything we invented back then was through nature. Now stay with me please. So they had the inspiration through the visitation in Africa, in Alkebulan. They saw that in Africa, what they did was each and every family over there in Africa, they had what they call the spiritual connection. They never had it. Now the spiritual connection is this, that each man have what they call this spiritual ifa or spiritual dolls that he prays to in the morning. He comes out, he calls the name, he gives them stuff. He says, look, I'm going out, bless my day, bless my family. My wife is going to the market to buy something. My children are going to the farm. Bless them. Let us have resources back home. And it was happening because that was the constructive aspect of God through humankind. And we were the one who was given that. Now, don't lose me, please. They got the inspiration because Savvy's father was a coordinator there. So they saw directly the display of African people, the Alkebulan, the strong men and women. They saw the display of them in that zoo. And guess what happened? He got the inspiration to create because each of these dolls they took, each of these idols that they took had spirits in them. They speak back. They talk to you. So they never had that. Remember, they never had that. Now, these Cubbage Patch Kids, the idea behind that was when they invented, and besides, Savvy said the inspiration came from the chicken or animal incubator, where they were able to create incubator or machine that could help animals hatch their eggs or bring to life something that they could not based on environment. Now that's what he said. But let me shock you now. The first incubation or incubator machine that was created with nature was in Egypt. And back then Egypt were black skinned. I'm not talking about in 1976 now. I'm talking before 1976. Egypt, the cradle of civilization of the world, they were all black skinned. Now stay with me now. This Cubbage Patch Kid, they now talk about, okay, let's create something for humankind, the incubator machine for humankind, right? So these children were dying so much at that point. The children they placed in this incubation in the early stage were dying in the numerous number. And when they died, they said to themselves, how can we trap these souls? So I want to give you something, and you could say that this is a conspiracy theory, but that's fine. This is what I'm telling you. Back in the early times, these Cubbage Patch Kids were trapped souls. Now, I'm going to be playing a video for you to see that most of this traps still came back to life because they understood how to bring it back. And if you don't believe it or not, there's something called the reincarnation. It happens. Most souls are destined to fulfill a purpose. And when a certain lifestyle or lifetime is given to them and they could not achieve that, they have to return because God's word must be fulfilled. Now, that's a law. So, now, stay with me. The dark secret of this Cubbage Patch Kids is that they are trapped souls of incubated dead babies. Now, the inspiration were gotten from we, the Akabulans, the ancient Africans, strong men and women. We were trapping souls, spirits, not soul, spirits that speaks elemental spirits. Now, elemental spirits is another realm of spirits that connects to God. You understand what I'm saying? Because even in the heavens, they have authority and principality. So they have levels as well. So God can... Now, the only thing, Jesus said that he's breaking all those levels away so you can have access to God. But remember, their God law must be fulfilled. Even Jesus died because the law, the word has been said that he would sacrifice himself for the word. So God cannot even take his word back. Right. So their inspiration was gotten by that they saw red-handed. These African men and women were consulting with the spirit. So they decided to create a Cubbage Patch Kid. Then they trapped the soul of these incubated dead babies. Now, did that work? No, it did not work. It backfired because the whole world started grabbing for this. The whole world started coming. Now, if you go and do your research, you'll see that some of these dolls were acting weird at night. They were giving nightmares to these children. So you must be careful as a parent what you give to your children. Now, if you look, they looked at the designs that we had back then were designs of human being, Ikenga, and all of them. They were designs of human being, right? Human body, but you see there's some things around them because these were inspiration of the gods to the people. They don't have it, but we had it. We were the cradle of civilization. Now, if you don't believe that, because Africa is what it is right now, Africa have gone through one of the baddest and horrifying experiences that any human race has ever gone through. We African have been there. We've gone through enslavement and even the church system that came. I read something and I saw a couple of clips that even the church system, we were given the church system with mass murder. Even Islam came to Africa with mass murder intentions. Christianity came to Africa with mass murder intentions. So they murdered as much as they can to create fear. Now, fear is a mind control. Fear is the reason why you tell yourself that I'm a sinner, I have to pray to God. Fear is what they created as the mind control form for you to believe. Now, the secret there is that we were connecting to those Ikengas and stuff were given to the lineage. That's why in all of African countries today, we have one culture. Africans were one continent, not different countries. The different countries they were created artificially by these Western people, the invaders. I wouldn't call them the slave masters. I'm calling them the invaders because they invaded Africa. Now, they realized that each clan of the African race have what they have as protection, as guidance. Now, they call their god she, yeah, but they have something that guides them, just like the Holy Spirit, the Bible. What? Yeah, that's a code of conduct. The same goes back there. So now, in summary of this, the dark secret is that these incubators, they were inspiration obtained by African people because of we were given this lifestyle naturally, so they had to create it when they saw that they could not. And besides, in 1870, the human zoo was still active. So everything that was created at that point in 18 to 70 were inspired by the enslavement of Africa. All the ideas you have and your ancestors have that you're supposed to be one of the top, richest, and strongest in the world was taken away from you. Now, everything under the sun is fabricated. So today, the reason for this is to let you know that you must be careful what you buy as dolls to your kids. Now, you must always understand a lost history or a lost connected destiny or a lost ancestral connection is a lost soul, is a lost path. There is nothing you are under the sun that is different. You are a remodification of your ancestors because you didn't come to this life by yourself. Your mother, your father came together to have you. Their mother and father came together to have them. So it's a back to the source lineage. And the source, the cradle of this posterity is from God. So today, you must understand that all this amazing civilization that they say they created was firstly an inspiration from Akabulan, which is you. Thank you so much, and I remain your host, DS. And don't forget to follow, share, like, and subscribe. God bless you.